Namaste, Tashile, good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. So, welcome. We are live streaming from Martika, Nepal. And anyway, a bit of a special session. We normally do the Lama Yeshe Tsog. Today is the 25th of the Tibetan month, the Kini day. But we had a request from Nidhi to do the soak of Haruka Vajrasattva. And so I thought we could do first the Haruka Vajrasattva sadhana, and then do the soak offering. So I hope you have all downloaded those texts. Have you? I will. Oh no, here, just use this. It's okay. So, are there still people coming? Okay, so maybe I'll blah 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 for a little bit longer. Oh, and maybe if you can hear, then please put the comments. Yes, I can hear. So, in any case, I think many of you know, but just to mention a few drops from the ocean of the benefits of the Vajrasattva practice. Um, mm, well, first, maybe we should say this. So, the Tibetans, Lamas, they said that there's only one good thing about negative karma, and that is that it can be purified. So, in general, when we think uh, about the faults of negative karma, then, well, of course, the most immediate is that all the suffering that we experience is the ripening effect of negative actions that we've created. And in particular, also, then since death can come at any time, if one of those negative karmas that we've accumulated then ripens at the time of our death, it can throw us into being reborn in the lower realms. And then once we're reborn there, then it's very difficult to get out. It's very hard to generate virtuous minds within the lower realms. And so now that we have this precious human rebirth, where we can distinguish between virtue and non-virtue, right and wrong, we have to do our best on a daily basis to refrain from negative karma as much as we can and to accumulate as much virtue as we can. And not only that, then through the power of the four opponent powers, then we can purify previously accumulated negativities. And in so doing, we can then prevent ourselves from experiencing the suffering effects of those negative karmas. That's the first and most immediate. But even more important than that, actually, is these negative karmas, as long as they are in our mind streams, as long as they are polluting our mind streams, they also act as obstacles to our attaining realizations, both the realization of emptiness, which is needed for us to attain liberation from samsara, but also the realization of bodhicitta, this altruistic wish to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And without that, then we won't achieve the state of enlightenment. the state characterized by the full pacification and purification of all faults of the mind and the full development of all good qualities. And the reason why we need to achieve this state of enlightenment is when we have achieved it, then and only then we'll be able to work for others' benefit, work for the numberless sentient beings, kind mother sentient beings who have been our mother, our father, our loved ones, not only once, but many times throughout beginningless samsaric rebirth. In every one of those lifetimes, they showered us with every kindness, giving us everything we need to sustain our life. And who are still drowning in the ocean of samsaric suffering. So, in order to lead these kind mother sentient beings from their suffering and place them in the state of highest complete enlightenment, we then need to purify our minds of all the negative karma and obscuration and even the subtle imprints of the mind. And so here, in general, the practice of Vajrasattva is highly praised as a means of purification. It is likened to, if there is a flock of birds, then just by throwing one stone, all the birds will scatter. So similarly, this practice of Vajrasattva, then very powerful to purify negative karma. And as many of you know, one of the features of karma is to then double in its potency every day. But by reciting the Vajrasattva 21 times a day, we can then prevent the doubling, exponential growth of our negative karma. And then it is also said that if one recites 100,000 of the Vajrasattva mantra, one can then, if one does it properly, purify all the negative karma accumulated since beginningless time. And then on top of that, here tonight, we're also going to be doing the Tsog Offering. And so the Tsog Offering is also extremely profound and powerful means of purification, especially to purify the degenerated samaya and the broken vows that we've taken from our gurus. And so, have people logged in? Okay, nice. So then, please then just think on this occasion as a means of motivation, like I've been saying, that the purpose of my life is to benefit all sentient beings. And in order to liberate sentient beings from suffering, I need to achieve a state of enlightenment. Therefore, I need to purify my mind of all the obscurations, negative karmas, and their imprints. And therefore, I'm going to do this Vajrasattva, Huruka Vajrasattva practice, along with the Tsog Offering, so I can purify my mind and quickly accomplish the two accumulations of merit and transcendental wisdom. And then not only that, but also particularly we can think that we're not doing this just for ourselves, but for all the beings of this world. So also for all the degenerations, all the manifestations of this degenerate age, particularly due to war, natural disasters, sickness, economic problems, all of these for it to be pacified immediately. And then also to purify all of the negative karma within the minds of sentient beings that would have us then be separated from our perfect holy gurus. and also to purify all of the obstacles for all of the various projects and activities of our holy gurus, as well as all of the obstacles to the flourishing of the holy Dharma. So for all these reasons, we're going to engage in this Vajrasattva practice with Tsog Offering here tonight. Okay, so first we'll do the from the Heruka Vajrasattva Retreat Sadhana, page 7. So we'll do the long, the retreat sadhana first, the long version first. So initial visualization. On your right side is your father, on your left side is your mother. Your enemy and those sitting beings who make you agitated are in front of you. People you are attached to are seated behind you. All other universal living beings are surrounding you. So there's two ways of doing the visualization of the field of refuge. So the first one, visualizing a standing Haruka embracing Vajravarahi as your principal refuge object. Around him are the Lakas and Dakinis, wrathful gods and peaceful goddesses, and many other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Arhats who have completely attained the everlasting peaceful realization of enlightenment. There are 62 different deities of the Haruka Mandala. Or the second option, which is a little bit easier, the all-encompassing jewel. So visualize Vajradhara Dorje Chang as your principal refuge object. Vajradhara is blue in color. He sits in the lotus position and embraces his consort, Dorje Palmo. She is red in color, symbolizing blissful desire energy. Vajradhara is one in nature with your guru. The essence of Vajradhara is your guru. Okay, so now remembering the qualities of our guru, inseparable from the principal object of refuge, and aspiring to develop those qualities within our own mind stream. Then think that we're leading all the sentient beings that we've visualized in the space around us in this practice of going for refuge. I forever take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all three vehicles, in the Dakas and Bikinis of Secret Mantra Yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis. But most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. I forever take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all three vehicles, in the Dakas and Bikinis of Secret Mantra Yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of 10 bhumis. But most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. I forever take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all three vehicles, in the Dakas and Dakinis of Secret Mantra Yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis. But most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. I must become Heruka in order to lead all sentient beings to the sublime state of Herukahood. I must become Heruka in order to lead all sentient beings to the sublime state of Herukahood. I must become Heruka in order to lead all sentient beings to the supreme. The object of refuge then melts into light and dissolves into Heruka, who in turn melts into light and dissolves into you. So now if you have a highest yoga tantra empowerment of Heruka, then self-generate in that aspect, or as any other highest yoga tantra deity. If you do not have such an initiation, then skip the following line and continue below. Instantaneously, I arise as dark blue Heruka, with one face and two arms, holding a Vajra and bell. Out of the void, about 6 inches above the crown of my head, appears the syllable Pam, which transforms into a 1,000-petaled lotus. On top of the lotus appears the seed syllable A, which transforms into a moon disk. In the center of the moon disk stands the seed syllable Hum. Suddenly, the Hum transforms into a white 5-pronged Vajra with Hum at its center. Much radiant light emanates from both the Hum and the Vajra, going out in the 10 directions and completing the 2 purposes, offering great psychic blissful energy to all the gurus and Buddhas, and purifying the defilements of all sentient beings. The whole universe melts into light. This light then returns and is absorbed into the Hum in the Vajra. The Hum and the Vajra also melt into light and then transform into Heruka Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva is white. He has one face and two arms, sitting in the full lotus position. He holds a Vajra in his right hand at his heart, and a bell in his left, which rests in his lap. His consort, Dorje Nyamakaramo, embraces him, her legs encircling his body. She too is white and has one face and two arms. She holds a curved knife in her right hand and a skull cup in her left. They are both dressed in robes of heavenly silk and adorned by precious jewel ornaments. They both have seed syllables Om at the crown chakra, A at the throat chakra, and Hum at the heart. Brilliant light radiates from the Hum at the heart, invoking the divine, supreme wisdom energy of all the Tathagatas to the space in front of Vajrasattva in the form of the wisdom beings. Om Kanaro Om Sabhava Shuddha Savalama Sabhava Shuddho. All is void. Out of the void appears a seed syllable Ah. It turns into a huge white skull cup containing the 5 meats and 5 nectars. They melt, becoming an ocean of the Amrita energy of the divine transcendental wisdom. Om Ahu Hahu Ri Om Ahu Hahu Ri Om Ahu Hahu Ri Om Vajrasattva Adam Patijam Soha Om Vajrasattva Padam Patijam Soha Om Vajrasattva Purify Patijam Soha Om Vajrasattva Purify Patijam Soha Om Vajrasattva Alunge Patijam Soha Om Vajrasattva Gende Patijam Soha Om Vajrasattva Nude Patijam Soha Om Vajrasattva Shabda Patijam Soha Zang Bang Ho. They become non-dual. The wisdom beings who are The wisdom energy of all the Talagatas joyfully sink into Vajrasattva's divine heart, becoming completely one, like a drop of water sinking into the ocean. Again, brilliant light radiates from the home in the divine heart, invoking all the initiating deities of the five families. Om Panchakula Saparevara Agam Praticam Soha. Om Panchakula Saparevara Pancham Praticam Soha. Om Panchakula Saparevara Purify Praticam Soha. Om Panchakula Saparevara Purify Praticam Soha. Om Panchakula Saparevara Aloke Praticam Soha. Om Panchakula Saparevara Gende Praticam Soha. Om Panchakula Sapareva Nude Praticam Soha. Om Panchakula Sapareva Yasa O Tathagatas, please bestow on me the Ruka Vajrasattva initiation. Upon this request, all the Tathagatas hold up their initiating vases, which are full of the Amrita energy of the divine transcendental wisdom, and the Amrita starts to flow. Om Sarvatra The divine body of perfect absolute wisdom, Ruka Vajrasattva, is completely filled with the Amrita energy of blissful transcendental wisdom. Some Amrita overflows and transforms into Akshobhya, who adorns Vajrasattva's crown. The initiation deities melt into light and sink into Vajrasattva. At the center of the moon disk, at the divine heart, stands the seed syllable Om, encircled by the 100-syllable mantra, standing counterclockwise around the edge of the moon disk. Om Vajrasattva Agam Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Padam Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Ale. Purify Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Purify Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Aloke Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Gende Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Nude Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Shaka Praticam Soha. Om Vajrasattva Om. Non-dual divine wisdom, magnificent inner jewel ornament of all mother sentient beings, supreme, unchanging, everlasting great bliss, indestructible, magnificent wisdom mind that releases all sentient beings from negativities of body, speech, and mind, especially broken vows and pledges. To you, glorious Vajrasattva, I prostrate. We'll do the short mandala offering. Masaji To ignorance and delusion, I have broken and damaged my pledges. Holy Guru has the power to liberate me. My inner master, holder of the Vajra, whose essence is great compassion. Lord, all migratory beings, to you I go for refuge. Bhagavan Vajrasattva, the shore of all defilements, who has attained all the realizations and passed the other shore, I request you to please purify all negativities and broken pledges of myself and all other sinning beings. So, just to make sure that our purification becomes as powerful as it can, then just really meditate on regret very strongly. So, thinking not just in this life, but since beginningless lifetimes, thinking of all of the 10 non-virtues, the 5 uninterrupted negative karmas, the 5 nearing uninterrupted karmas, all the broken and degenerated vows of the 3 types, pratimoksha vows, bodhisattva vows, and tantric pledges, and especially all of the uh, negativities that we have created in relation to our holy virtuous friend, disregarding the holy advice, criticizing the guru, abandoning the guru as a object of faith and respect, so thinking how all of these negative karmas uh, just so unbearable, an unbearable load to bear, and especially since death can come at any time, then we need to purify all of these negative karmas in this very session. Not only because even one of these negative karmas left unpurified can propel us into rebirth into lower realms, but also since these negative karmas are preventing us from attaining the realizations of the path, particularly bodhicitta and the realization of emptiness. And therefore, these negative karmas are preventing us from attaining the state of enlightenment, the state where we will be able to work for sentient beings' welfare in the best possible way. So now, because of this request, brilliant light radiates from the mantra, rosary, and the hum. At the divine heart of Vajrasattva, the light purifies all the negative karmas and obscurations of all sentient beings and becomes an offering for all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the essence of the pure qualities of their holy body, speech, and mind. All their transcendent wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, returns in the form of light that sinks into the hum, and the mantra rosary at the divine Vajrasattva's divine heart. From the Hung and the mantra rosary, a stream of blissful white Amrita energy begins to flow down through the central channel of the divine couple. The Amrita flows out to the secret chakras in union and flows into me through my crown chakra, flowing down through my central channel. This stream of transcendental wisdom, Amrita energy, fills my whole body, destroying all the negativities and defilements of my body, speech, and mind. These are completely purified. So here, maybe you know, but we can visualize at our own heart a moon disk. On top of the moon disk is all sentient beings, all kind, precious mother sentient beings. And as the Amrita, the nectar, flows into our crowns, it also flows then into our hearts and purifies not only ourselves, but all of the sentient beings that are residing in our heart. And then, well, as some of you know, we can do the three different types of visualizations. So for one third of the, for the first part of the mantra recitation, we can do the visualization as described here, and mainly purifying the negative karmas of body. So then we can visualize the nectar as it cleanses and washes us. Then all the negative karmas and defilements come out of our lower doors in the aspect of black soot, sludge. And then for the second part of the visualization, we can visualize that the nectar fills our body gradually. And then on the surface of this nectar, as it fills our body, the uh, negative karma and defilements are on the surface. And then as it reaches our head, then it comes out of our mouth and our nose and ears and so forth. This primarily purifies the negativities of the speech. And then the third part of the visualization, we can do the instantaneous purification. So just like as the light gets turned on in a dark room, then in 1 second, all of the darkness gets completely eliminated. And just that way, we can think that all the darkness in our body then gets eradicated by blissful light energy, and then this completely purifies all the negativities of the mind. And then in the last part, we can do all three together. Okay. So we'll chant once together, and then we'll do it silently. Om Be Om Vajrasattva Heruka Samaya Manubhalaya Heruka Tinaba Dirune Baba Sudogayo Me Baba Sudogayo Me Baba Ananato Me Baba Sabazire Me Baba Savagava Sujame Chira Shea Guru Ha Ho Bhagava Vaja Heruka Mame Muja Heruka Baba Ma Samaya Sava Om Be Om Vaja Heruka Om Vajrasattva. 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 Manapana. Herikva. Sudagame. So now think that even though everything appears inherently existent to us, no phenomena has inherent existence. Every phenomena is totally empty. In emptiness, there is no creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. There is no negative karma created. Om Vajrasattva Agam Pradijam So. Om Vajrasattva Pajam Pradijam So. Om Vajrasattva Pide Pradijam So. Om Vajrasattva Pide Pradijam So. Om Vajrasattva Alage Pradijam So. Om Vajrasattva Pide Pradijam So. Om Vajrasattva Pide Pradijam So. Om Vajrasattva Om Vajrasattva Om Non-dual, divine wisdom, magnificent inner jewel ornament of all understanding being, supreme, unchanging, everlasting, great bliss, indestructible, magnificent wisdom mind that releases all sentient beings from all negativities, body, speech, and mind, especially broken vows and pledges. To you, glorious Vajrasattva, I prostrate. Vajrasattva says, O child of a good family, your negativities and obscurations and damage and broken pledges are cleansed and purified. So now meditate here. Think that what Guru Vajrasattva says has actually happened. All your negativities have been completely purified. There is not the slightest trace of defilement left on your mental continuum. Your mental continuum is completely pure. Next, the power of restraint. So think, from now on, I'll abstain from all the vices that I can abstain from, and I'll abstain from all those that are extremely difficult for me to abstain from for 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, or at least a few seconds. You vow to abstain from creating negative karma pleases Guru Vajrasattva, who melts into light and absorbs into you. So those who have received the great initiation of High Silver Tantra can meditate here on the Guru entering your heart. If you have not received such an initiation, you can meditate that the Guru melts into light and absorbs into you at the point between your eyebrows and blesses your body, speech, and mind. Doje Nyama Karma is transformed into light and is absorbed into Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva then melts into light and sinks into my heart. My 3 doors of body, speech, and mind become inseparably one with Vajrasattva's holy body, speech, and mind. Vajrasattva and I are completely one, and I enjoy the bliss of shunyata and full samadhi beyond the dualistic view that discriminates between subject and object. This is the highest possible enjoyment. So now, yeah, we meditate on emptiness. While contemplating the state of emptiness, while the mind is looking at everything as empty, means empty of inherent existence, not total non-existence, but then we dedicate the merit. Because of this merit, may I quickly become Heruka Vajrasattva and lead each and every sentient being into his divine enlightened realm. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born not. Hmm? So, yeah, why don't we do. We can do the Torma offering and then we'll do the Tsog offering. So, this is our Torma. Hmm? I instantaneously arise as Dark Blue Heruka with one fist and two hands, holding Vajra and bell. Standing with my right leg extended, I embrace my consort Red Vajravarahi, who has one fist and two hands, holding a curved knife and skull cup. Om Ganarori Om Deon Zababa Shuddha Zabadama Zababa Shuddho Am. Everything becomes completely void. Out of the non-dual void appears the seed-syllable R, which transforms into a very large white skull cup. Inside the skull cup are the 5 meats and 5 nectars. These substances melt into liquid and become an ocean of Amrita, divine energy, of divine blissful transcendental wisdom. Om Ahu Ahu Shi Om Ahu Ahu Shi Om Ahu Ahu Ri. In front of me appears Bhagavan Vajrasattva and Doji Nyamo Karmo. Vajrasattva's tongue, a white hum, transforms into a white three-pronged Vajra. From this three-pronged Vajra, hollow tubes of Vajralight appear, through which the essence of the Torma is drawn forth and enjoyed. Om Vajrasattva Sabarivara Idam Balantukakai Kai. Om Vajrasattva Sabarivara Idam Balantukakai Kai. Om Vajrasattva Sabarivara Idam Balantukakai Kai. Om Vajrasattva Agam Panjam Pive Om Vajrasattva Om Non-dual divine wisdom, magnificent and jewel ornament of all the listening beings, supreme, unchanging, everlasting bliss, indestructible, magnificent, like voice of all sane beings from all negativities of body, speech, and mind, especially both in vows and pledges to you. Glorious Vajrasattva, I prostrate. Okay, so now we go to the Heruka Vajrasattva Sok book. Do you know how to do? No. Okay. Oops. Okay, so page 11. Jungwe Durje Samba Sheye Tendan Tembe Kingo Yongzo Dun Kun San Che Nam Ge Kyun Kyun Kang Ni Me Dawa Jimbo Ka La Mu Sa Ju Na La Da La Mu Shi Shi Rei Wan Zhen Zhi Bei Ka Gen Yi Tai Shi Yong Su Song Bei Ku Xian Yu Om Kanda Roi Hong Pe Om Sababa Shuddha Sababa Sababa Shuddha all become empty. So especially here, meditating on the emptiness of the Tsog offerings. From the sphere of emptiness appears the letter A, which transforms into a very large and spacious skull cup containing the 5 meats and 5 nectars. Melting, they all transform into a great ocean of wisdom nectar. Om Ahu Om Ahu Om Ahu Choe Lama Yeshe Mo Ma To Nye Shi Zhu Man Da Dan Se De Yuan Ang Ye So Zhu La Lama Du Je Shen Pa Ye Shi Ji Len Ke De Chen Ke Wa Qing Di Lo Om Vajrasattva Sama Vajrasattva Sama Sama Ahum Om Kayin Jasun Doje Sempe Gu De Yun Cha Pe Nyam Shema Del Joy De Me Cha Ve Chu Nan Da Dan Ze Du Yuan Ang Ye So Chu Na Dama De Je Shen Pa Ye Ji Di De Ji Da Xin To Ba Xin Yu Lo Om Vajrasattva Sama Sudhakameva, Subhakameva, Anandameva, Savashrimeva, and Savakamanchime, Shivshim Puru, Aho Bhagavan, Vaja Hergamama Muja, Hergava, Masamaya, Sama Ahom Bhe. Om Kaye Jaja Doje Sembe Gu, Sumi Duje Nato Nyungi, Jeyo Nizin Dungi Chunanda, Dan Se Du Yuan Ang Ye So Juna, Lama Doje Shenpa Yi Shi Yu, ye jun dang dang ge wa qing ye lo. Om Vajrasattva Hon kayin jasu doje samba kurani jizin dunga kungingo yeji kungi gombe chunanda damsi duyun ange sochila Lama doje samba yuji Nanda Jansen Kewan Chinyu Om Vajrasattva Hon kayin jasu doje samba ku dobe pasha mingyang tayula nizi drima ngenpe chunanda damzi dunyang ange sochila Lama Zoge Semba Nizi Chagya Chenpo Tomba Chingilo Om Vaji Heri Katana Heri Vatana Sudhameva Sudhameva Anameva Samadhameva Samadhameva Vaji Heri Kumama Heri Kumama Kamaya Hon kayin jasu doje senpa ku dame namsi yodo chanangi nizin junju chabe sudanda damsi yeshe nange sochila lama doje senpa nishi Om Vajrasattva Sudhagameva Sugameva Anandameva Samadhinameva Samadhameva Vajrasattva Hon kayin jasun doje samba ku yejin jaja wame babela doje nyewa nyowe chunanda danse yeshe ngange sochuna lama doje samba nichibu Sapa Rajama Jichawa Sho Om Dorje Zimba Gosu So Pa O Pa Mo So Kordi Zondan Zimbe Chuvade Du si de wa ta tu ro alala ho e ma di che ye shi ke so che du mo ba ve chu ma san ju de ba de la Kun kya aho sukha che aho ma sukha ho. So now enjoy the salt. Tamash. Om Guru Vajrasattva Parivara Padijamso. 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 Om Guru Vajrasattva Parivara Aloke Padijamso. Om Guru Vajrasattva Gende Padijamso. Om Guru Vajrasattva Nyude Padijamso. Om Guru Vajrasattva Shada Padijamso. Om Guru Vajrasattva Om Om. Merely thinking of just your name eradicates all obstacles and immediately purifies all negative karma. Thus to you, unsurpassed Vajrasattva, I make prostration. Om Chonde Bao Wanju La Jaze Om Kema Jengu Nyande Om Rabe Jebe Ize Padande Om Chewanamba Siva Jibe Om Dom Jajani Parve Om Jadvajade Yundang Kadwanze Om Tayi Pabe Nasa Zimpache Om Kuchen Duka Deva Zilade Om Shonen Dema Doje Pamola Chase Om chu ka su di mi tu on chun po ji pa tam chi do je chen po jong on je den shu shen yi mi te wan ji chen on tu mo tu mo su gi sam pa ten pa je on du nan ta chin ken pe shen gi cho le gen on du ji le je mon je ku le nam pa ye on do je ba mo joy chen du wa ma la du uh, so we'll do Song of the Spring Queen, page 22. Hon di shin she ba tang she dang pa wo na ni ne jo ma kan jo da ni kan jo ma yu na da ni so wa de wa shen zo yi le ru ga ye we ro nyu ma la ni che ni cho ga shin de lo che pa yi ni wen ge de we jo wa la ju do a la 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 Aira Ari Dile Gajo Sonagi Sewe Zela Le Om Beji Sheba Tanje Pawo Dani Najoma Kajo Dani Kajoma Kula Dani Solvande Chempe Yunira Gube Nini Kundu Yome Gagini Chaye Pema Rube Dewaji Nejo Mazo Nala Jubaze Ala La 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 Aria Aroni Ime Gajo Zonagi Sewe Jela Lekin Uende Shishaba Tamje Pawo Dani Nejo Ma Kanjo Dani Kanjo Kula Dani Sovande Yu Shiwe Nyangi Kazema Rage Genpo Kyundan Kanjo So Dagi Dundu Shute Shin La Lenge De Shin Dala Shen So Ala La 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 Ai Ya Ali Ho Shime Kanjo So Nangi Sewe Jila Lekin on the Shisha Dang Jeda Pawo Dani Najo Ma Kanjo Dani Kanjo Ma Solwa De Deshin Tarpe Seni Dempa Kyu Deshin Pampe Kadu Dumai Seshi Jowa Mishi Deshin Kya Chuki Choki Una Nebai La 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 Chale ke kyan chabe kyan mange, nejo manzo Dewa yi si bi chin wen yu jo wa zi a la 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 Aya Arale Ho Kime Kanjo Sonangi Seve Jina Lekin Om Veji Jabananje Pavodani Najama Kanjodani Kunadani Sarvade Chansi Juni Nangi Chansi Chi Bebe Soji Kane Tuwa Chai Seni Juden Depai Chuchin Pai Roi Senpai Zhen Ala La La Aya Arai Ho Jini Ganjin Sonanki Sewe Jila Lekin Om Ahum Om Ahum Om Ahum De To Ye Me Gyu Me Ka La Ye Je Mai Yu Chi So La Jin Kyon Tre Ye Zo La Vi Dan Chi Ju Le When the verses of auspiciousness, but someone's taking out the remaining soul, and maybe you at home, you're also doing that, so I'm waiting. No one is left behind. So actually, maybe, yeah, we'll do the concluding prayers of auspiciousness. Yeah, concluding prayers of auspiciousness. Oh, so Jewe Chube Kutaye Joy Vewa Gowe Sung Jowe Sangha Jishin Zinge Turan Sela Jewe Kanji Doingi Chiwa Bar Doingi Wa Sun Jong Koso Le Doingi Ram Sen Yusel Kamoijewa Le Kusundujo Charve Joje Kai Tobe Simpe Yuan Si Dewa Shenpo Yeshela Kyue Paset Khor Mo Kende Okay, so it went on the email, but do you have the mm, hmm, the what should I do for dedications? So I don't on this have the dedications I want to do, but I have the supplementary prayers for the no song offering. Do you guys have that? Or if you have been following the COVID-19 teachings with Lama Zopa Rinpoche, there's also a separate booklet. Or just listen to me and dedicate as best you can. Okay. Or Chanju Sancho Rinpoche Make Panam Keduji Kewa Nyaba Mebaya Gone Gondu Kawa Sho Samsara and Nirvana, like even an atom of inherent existence, and cause and effect independent arising or betraying. I seek a blessing to discern the meaning of Arjuna's thought, that these two are mutually complementary and not contradictory. May the precious realization of the two stages not yet born arise. May that arisen not decline but increase more and more. Due to all the past, present, future merits collected by me, the numberless Buddhas and numberless sentient beings, may all the wars, sickness, famine, and economic problems in the world, and all the dangers of earth, water, fire, and wind be pacified immediately, and may perfect peace and happiness prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. By their generating loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, may the Buddha Dharma last for a long time, and may the sentient beings in this world meet the Buddha Dharma and achieve enlightenment as quickly as possible. Determined to obtain the greatest possible benefit from all sentient beings, who are more precious than a wish-fulfilling jewel, I shall hold them most dear at all times. However many sick sentient beings there are, may they quickly be freed from all their sicknesses. May all the sicknesses, without exception, of transmigratory beings never occur again. And all my lives never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the grounds and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajrasattva. Hmm? By the force of the victorious one, Sankapa, acting as our Mayan, direct Mayan and virtuous friend in all our lives, may we never turn away, for even a second, from the pure path highly admired by the victorious ones, like the earth, water, fire, and wind, medicines, and firewood. May always be enjoyed by all living beings as they like and without resistance. May I cherish all beings, all sentient beings like my own life. May I cherish them much more than myself. May all their negative karma ripen on me, and may all my virtue ripen on them. As long as any sentient being has not been liberated, may I abide in samsara to help them, even though I achieve highest enlightenment. Due to all the past, present, future merits collected by me, numberless Buddhas, numberless sentient beings, which are completely empty of existing from their own side, may I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve the state of full enlightenment, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side. So that state is by myself alone, who is completely empty of existing from my own side. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the hearing and Jushu knows reality, and just like Samatha Vajra as well. I fully dedicate all my virtues with dedication, praise is the best, by all the going 3 times in order to have good conduct. So before we do the long life prayers, we also dedicate all the merits accumulated 3 times by ourselves as well as the numberless Buddhas and numberless sentient beings. For all the beings who recently died, whether due to the coronavirus or whatever has caused their death, all the beings who are currently in the bardo, may they instantly be reborn in the pure land of the Buddhas, where they can achieve enlightenment, or at the very least, achieve a perfect human body, perfect human rebirth, uh, meet with the Mahayana teachings, the Mahayana Guru, and practice well, attaining all the realizations of the path, up to and including full enlightenment in their very next lifetime. Then we also dedicate for all the beings who are sick, dedicating all three-time merit kingdoms by ourselves and others, the numberless sentient beings and numberless Buddhas, for all the beings who are sick. May they in this very second quickly be freed from all of their ailments, and then having completely and fully recovered, may they live the most meaningful life by practicing the Mahayana Dharma, generating all the realizations of the path, particularly bodhicitta and the realization of emptiness, and achieve enlightenment in this very lifetime. Then we also dedicate all three-time merit kingdoms by ourselves, as well as all three-time merit kingdoms by numberless sentient beings and numberless Buddhas, for all the sponsors and benefactors. So particularly Nidhi Agarwal and Chukasam Ling, the Bangalore FPMT Center, and then also William Reuter, Arya Keaton, and
Yuan Anderson.
Juan Anderson. And then all the countless, too numerous to mention, all those who have supported us here in Maritika. Then may all the sponsors, benefactors, as well of the FPMT and the IMI, International Mahayana Institute, and so forth. May they have all the required conditions, all the most conducive conditions to practicing Dharma. And all the obstacles to them receiving, generating all the realizations of the path in this very lifetime be instantly dispelled. And then may all the sponsors, benefactors, ourselves, as well as all the kind mother sentient beings, be always guided by perfectly qualified mind and virtuous friends in this and all our future lifetimes. From our side, may we always see them as only enlightened beings, and thus only do what is most pleasing to their holy minds. And in this way, may we always fulfill all of their holy wishes immediately. Jiten Gandhi Vende Mariva Gane Jue Sampe Isino Katrin Sume Tenzin Gyatsola So Depso Tujen Lundun Sho. So if you have the long life prayer for Lama Rinpoche composed by Kandrula, if you have it and you don't have it memorized, then please turn to it now. Through illuminating all your appearances, spells, and darkness, your clear mind knows the 84,000 heaps of Dharma, the power of the remedy to the 84,000 delusions, The proclaiming independent rising itself is victorious in battle with Mars. I worship the supremely kind great Vajrasattva on my crown, clarifying the scriptures and realization and teaching of the Muni. You spread and illuminate those teachings wherever they are met, spread in the world. Having become a natural son of the conquerors, you bear hardships with patience. In your continuous civilization of reflection and wisdom, subtle dependent arising. Precious jewel, Lord possessing love and compassion, who liberates upon seeing, treasury and mastery of all arising, interpreter of the definitive scriptures, supremely great among the great, fully comprehending and clarifying the meaning of emptiness and compassion. You guide all beings in the path of liberation. Perfectly qualified spiritual friend, my guru, please remain forever. She who protects from the fears of 3 times Aryatara, please increase the lifespan and activities of beings who preserve the holy Dharma, and always without separation develop their spontaneous actions. May the infallible deities of 3 roots may all be auspicious. Okay, so thank you very much. Uh, yeah. Mm, So yeah, I would yeah, maybe just advertise a bit that I hope you're all taking advantage of your precious human rebirth to especially these days do purification practice. So it is highly recommended to do this Vajrasattva practice, 21 of the long Vajrasattva mantras or 28 of the short mantras, Om Vajrasattva A, on a daily basis before you go to bed. That will prevent the negative karma from doubling. So, of course, just doing that will prevent it from doubling. But, it's kind of like if you have a credit card balance, only paying the minimum balance, you'll never, pay it off fully. So, please try to do more than that. And the 35 Buddhas practice, basically any virtuous action that we can do, if done in conjunction with the 4 opponent powers, then can serve as purification. So, mm, seeing all the problems in our own lives and the problems in the world, seeing that's only the ripening effect of negative karma that we've accumulated in the past, then this all these various problems in the world should remind us to practice well as best we can. So anyway, that's my public service announcement for today. Uh, and of course, all of you in the various countries in the world, many of them are opening up, whether or not the coronavirus has been put under control. So please maintain, the guidelines by the health officials, uh, maintaining physical distancing, washing your hands, wearing masks, all these things. Remember, it's not just to protect yourself, but to protect the whole, society. Mm. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Uh, yeah, let's see what happens. The Chukur Duchen is coming up, so there's a Heart Sutra Fan, I think, yeah, by IMI. Um, but also Chukur Sumling has requested me to give a teaching, so let's see. Okay, namaste. Thank you very much.